Hi, I'm Michelle Russell, Editor-in-Chief of PCMA Convene, and I want to welcome you back to Convene Nexus. In our latest episode, we'll take a look at the top 3 news stories of the week, go on the clock with Valerie Sumner, have a moment of truth with a Super Bowl champion turned doctor, and speak with Kristen Graham about her session at EduCon. Let's jump in. Welcome to our first segment, Connecting the Dots, where I'll be pulling out 3 things, maybe a story from this week's News Junkie or something I've read or heard this week that I think deserves a little extra attention. Hopefully, these gems will give you additional perspective as you tackle your job. In at number 3. Let's talk about masks because we are all over the place with that. In our May Convene Recovery Dashboard survey, we asked planners if the recent CDC guidance saying that vaccinated individuals don't have to wear masks indoors, in uncrowded areas, or outdoors was making it easier to plan events, and more than half said it was not. Moreover, 6 out of 10 planners said that the new mask mandate wouldn't necessarily translate to more on-site participants. Fast forward to our June dashboard, and there's a switcheroo. More than half of the planners this time said the mask mandate was making it easier to plan events, and nearly half said it would translate to higher attendance. Perhaps people are getting used to living life mask-free, except on planes, of course, and that will mean more of them are finding events appealing. And in at number 2, speaking of planes, just as hundreds of thousands of Americans return to the skies again this summer for vacation travel, and hopefully some business event travel mixed in, they're being greeted with long lines at security checkpoints, lengthy delays, and cancellations. Lots of cancellations. American Airlines canceled more than 462 flights over this past Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Although the airlines attributed unprecedented weather to the cancellations, they also said they were due to staffing shortages, which is a major issue for hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry is facing a historic staffing shortage. After aggressive layoffs during the pandemic, hotels and restaurants are scrambling to hire new employees to meet demand. Many are saying that the bump in unemployment benefit pay is the culprit, with many opting to collect rather than go back to work or to make equal or less money. But Michael Sheridan, a professor of tourism and hospitality management at Temple University, told the Washington Post recently that the problem may be more long-term. Many industry professionals decided to leave the travel industry after losing their jobs, and even more concerning for the future, students who would normally major in hospitality and tourism have, he says, reconsidered their career choices, all of which will impact events, both in terms of customer service levels for planners and the overall experience for attendees. We explore this more in our upcoming issue of Convene. And in at number 1, vaccinations. For the first time, we asked dashboard survey respondents this month if they had themselves been vaccinated, and 9 out of 10 planners and suppliers said they had been fully vaccinated or had 1 dose and are scheduled for their second. Yay, us. But that isn't making them more inclined to make proof of vaccination a requirement to attend their events, though. Only 2 out of 10 planners are considering this move, and 3 out of 10 suppliers. So far, we've only seen a few organizations making this a requirement for medical events this year, and we're keeping our eyes peeled to see if this changes moving forward. Stick with us on this.
I've been looking forward to being at this Connect with Confidence event. I feel like I'm home.
really wish you were here with us.
Being with customers again, it feels good, the energy, the vibe, and we're all excited to work together for what will happen in the future.
It's such a treat. Now, you're a man who needs absolutely no introduction. We're going to give you a little bit of one anyway. You're 2020 Sports Illustrated's Person of the Year. You're also the starting right guard for the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. But what some people may not know about you is you're also a qualified doctor. And when the pandemic hit in 2020, you swapped the uniform and the cleats for scrubs and the front line of the medical world. And I'm so interested to delve into that with you. But I wanted to take people back a little bit before we jump into 2020. You're I believe, the only active NFL player to be a qualified doctor. That's one hell of a juggle. I'd love to hear a little bit about what life looked like before the pandemic for you.
I mean, like you said, I've been playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs for the past 6 years now. And I think when I first got into the NFL, my ultimate goal was, yes, to win the Super Bowl, but more so to become the first NFL player to graduate with a doctorate in medicine. And I've been working on that for the past 6 years. Every off season, I went back to Montreal and I did obstetric, gynecology, psychiatry, surgery in order to graduate in 2018. And that was for me, I think, my biggest personal accomplishment, you know. And of course, the Super Bowl is the ultimate team accomplishment. So 2020 has been a pretty interesting year for me.
Oh, without question. And congratulations on both of those two accomplishments. It's extraordinary. One of my favorite anecdotes I read about you is that unlike most people, when we have visions of the NFL draft, we think of people sitting huddled around the couch waiting for their name to be read out. Am I correct that you were actually helping with an emergency C-section and handed a phone to the nurse and said, just say yes if someone calls?
Yeah, I mean, the draft is a 3-day event. So the Thursday and the Friday night for the first 3 rounds, I was actually working in the NICU, which stands for Neo-Intensive Care Unit, and I was assisting like complicated pregnancy and delivery. So yes, the Thursday and Friday I wasn't there to celebrate the draft, but I got drafted on Saturday in the 6th round, so I ended up being there. But that was for me like a crazy moment, because you're in like a medical student mode. You're focusing on, you know, learning how to deliver a baby, how to provide care for your patient, and then the telephone ring. And the next day you're on a flight to Kansas City, a city that you've never been before. So the transition for me has been quite amazing. It was quite a journey, and I think that's probably one of the things that I'm the most proud about. You know, the fact that I was able to balance both and combine both, not at the same time, but transitioning from one to the other. You know, going from a football stadium filled with 80,000 people. Just yelling and screaming, and a whole team that is there to optimize your care, your performance on the field. And then within a week, you're back as a medical student, which is basically the bottom of the food chain when it comes to the medical hierarchy. And you got to be now part of that team that is there to optimize the care of the patient. So that switch of mindset and adapting is really what I remember when I think of those 6 years.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you, are there any insights on how we can do a better job of balancing? Because that is one extraordinary calendar and set of activities to try and balance. How did you do it?
I think it's easy to say like it's a lot of sacrifice, but I think everybody's making sacrifices in life, especially now these days in 2020 and 2021. But I think you just have you need passion. You need to be dedicated to what you do, and when you love what you're doing, you don't count the hours, you just make it happen. And I think that that was probably one of the things I focus more about is to set my goals that are, you know, realistic and that I'm able to quantify and then do everything I can in order to make it happen.
Hi, I'm Valerie Sumner, and I currently serve as the past chair on the PCMA Foundation Board of Trustees.
What one thing would you tell Gen Z to recruit them to the business events industry?
I would say perseverance, do not give up, because I've talked to many Gen Zs this year. I've done an opportunity to just talk with them, and it's so important. They're smart, they're bright, they're brilliant, and just hang in there and give us everything you got.
What would you like your business partners to know about your new normal?
Wow, that's a good one. New normal. New normal is the opportunity to think on your feet, be creative, don't give up, and let whatever comes your way be a blessing.
15 seconds. Okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Mate, President and CEO of Visit Orlando, and I am so proud to represent this destination, which is open and leading the way for recovery efforts for the meetings industry. Since the start of the pandemic, the award-winning Orange County Convention Center has hosted more than 60 in-person live events, and over a dozen shows have relocated to Orlando. And it's all thanks to our commitment in helping organizations like yours meet safely today for a stronger tomorrow. Thanks to these efforts, your group can look forward to enhanced safety measures at every step of the way. Our first of its kind medical concierge program with Orlando Health, the premier local hospital group, will help to ensure your group's safety. And that's on top of the GBAC Star accreditation at the Convention Center, Orlando International Airport, and numerous other venues. We have worked with the community and planners to hold successful meetings, and we look forward to connecting with you to meet all of your needs for your next Orlando event.
The last year has shown that without proper engagement strategies, your content will just add to all the white noise out there. Fear not. Kristen Graham, an expert on the attention economy, will share the secrets of staying relevant in our closing main stage program at EduCon. We had the opportunity to interview Kristen before her session, and she shared some great takeaways. Have a look. Hi, Kristen. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Michelle.
For those not in the know, Kristen is an expert on the attention economy, and she'll be delivering our closing keynote at EduCon, and I am so looking forward to seeing you in Phoenix. For those who have not had the pleasure of hearing you speak before, like myself, what can we expect from your session at EduCon? Can you give us just a peek into what you'll be talking about?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, first of all, prepare yourself for a lot of nerding. It's a big combination of ideas, but then also some action. As I said, I've done a lot of research over the years, and that's very interesting, but I want to try to bring things together that's really relevant to our day-to-day, especially in the last year where everything got upended. So I want to do some insights into how we can rewire our brains and really make sure that we can be consistent in our daily life to have more creativity and more productivity, because I think we're all feeling that burn.
I love that. What's one tip or trick that you have for staying relevant? For us, that's really important because we try to create content for our audience and try to make sure that it's super relevant.
I love that you asked that question, because for all of us, especially this community that you all have, they're the magic makers. You bring people together, you create space for stories to be told. So the best tip that I would have, especially as we're all reemerging into this new space, is just show up. Don't worry so much about having everything polished and perfected. Be there. People are hungry for the connections and for the conversations. Be part of the conversation. Don't worry so much about curating everything perfectly. I know that's hard to do, but people just want to see you where you are.
That's great advice, and it takes some of that pressure off.
For sure.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Kristen. I look forward to engaging with you.
Same.
And we're looking forward to your closing keynote. There are still spots available at EduCon, regardless of whether you want to attend in person or digitally. So for more information, please visit pcmaeducon.org. Thanks again, Kristen.
See you there.
Thank you for spending some time with us this week. Tune in next time as we take a behind-the-scenes look at EduCon, dive into the top 3 stories, and go on the clock. See you next time.